was fighting against Amechi. So it's a repeat.
Deja vu.
Yeah, deja vu.
You have to ask, because Rivers has been in the news, and I think one of the reasons INEC says that they were reluctant to conduct elections because of the security situation. Looking back now, and it will look like the Senate had to step in at some point. They threatened to go on strike if INEC doesn't conduct elections there. Would you say that INEC was justified?
For fear of their lives, yes, they were justified. Some people were killed during the last election, you remember?
Yes, we do.
So, I'm sure people don't go to work to want to be killed. The INEC officials are engaged to do some work. They're not engaged to be killed. So they have every reason to have fear for their lives. And it is fear for their lives that has informed the way they have come across. Now, will you blame them for that? No. They have every reason to say, I'm afraid I don't want to go there. And that's precisely what happened. They needed to be given encouragement to go there and do the work they're supposed to do by assuring them that they will have protection. Now, did they have adequate protection? No.
Is there any way, is there anything we can do to ensure that politicians calm down their rhetoric and are not as desperate as we've seen them become for power, especially in River State?
Yeah. You see, until we are able to delineate official duty from partisan politics, until we're able to say, look, you're here, you're doing your job, you're not a politician. Therefore, do your job as a police officer, do your job as an INEC official, and politicians, please be warned. Any one of you belonging to whatever political party who we see as being anti-peace in this region, we will deal ruthlessly with that person. That should be the warning that comes out from the security agencies to all the participating politicians in the election. Now, as long as they just sleep over that and they imagine that, oh yeah, they'll behave, by merely seeing us here, I'm sure they'll be afraid to do something. That's not enough.
The most amazing thing is that this is not the general election.
Yes.
And one would have thought with a number of officers and men deployed to keep peace in this election would have been enough for us to see less or no violence. Again, I go back to the issue of security, and you also highlighted the need for them to be proactive. Perhaps, do you think that they've been able to do a good assessment of the situation, knowing full well that, just as you said, it's not a surprise that it happened.
Yeah.
We had a whole lot of history before this election. So the DSS and the police and all our intelligence unit should have been able to help us as a people to avert what we saw.
Precisely, but they failed in doing that. Now, why did they fail? Probably somewhere along the line, someone assumed that what we're doing is enough. We've put 28,000 people out there. That should be enough to be able to stop any violence. But you see, where there is intelligence gathering and there is enough information to say there are cells here that will go out there and perpetuate violence, let us tag these cells and monitor them. There are plainclothes men who do that. That's their job. So physically, the police presence would deter a number of people. But those particular people who are ready to foment trouble will be out there doing their own planning. But once you tag them and you have information network spread to be able to say, this is what this guy is doing. They're moving into one area to have a meeting and all that. And you tag them. You could preempt them. You could do preemptive strikes on them.
We're asking this because it doesn't look like a while ago, Malcolm said deja vu. But if you look at it, truly is deja vu.
Yeah.
Recall then the Commissioner of Police in that state while the Minister of Transport was the governor, talking about Mr. Amici, and
Mba. His name was Mba.
Mr. Mbu?
Umbu. Yes.
Yes. Mbu.
So Umbu was there, and there were issues between the Commissioner of Police and the state government. And here we are again. Before now, we've seen a change in the Commissioner of Police, and even his security detail, which was also asked to leave on account, according to the police, of being maybe partisan, being a part of a protest. What exactly? Because people are not really happy about what is happening. Lives are being lost, needlessly.